All right, let's stand for pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If everybody could actually remain standing, I'd like to just maybe take a minute to, if everybody just give some thanks to, it is the 9/11 anniversary. Take some thoughts and for a minute here to remember the event and the people who died. All right, thanks. We'll call meeting to order at 7:03. Me too. All right, so we'll start off with old business, Town Hall and Trooper Barracks. Mr. Esposito?
Well,
so we'll call the roll. Mr. Myers is called in, he's not feeling well tonight. We got Mr. Edwards present, Mr. Esposito, Mr. Trzynski, and Mr. Joyce. And Attorney Mike Cuevas. Okay, go ahead, Lou.
all right, we had a problem over to the Trooper Barracks. They've had leaks in the ceilings, and the processing room, the ceiling is collapsing. There's mold in there. So there's a problem with the air handlers in the attic, and what's happening is they were installed improperly when the building was built. And what's been happening is they're plastic trays, they've been flipping and causing leaks into the ceiling. On numerous occasions this has happened. So I've been in the process of securing bids to fix it once and for all, since we're going to have to paint the Trooper Barracks inside this before the end of the year. And in order to do this properly, we have to make sure that this doesn't happen again. There's no sense spending a lot of money painting the inside of the Trooper Barracks without making sure this doesn't happen. So what we're looking to do with the securities trays, build platforms up there so that this doesn't happen again. They're in there with little pieces of metal holding them, and they keep flipping, and it's happened in numerous parts of the building. So I did secure 3 bids according to our procurement policy, and I have them here, and I can pass them out for discussion here. No, those are these are the ones for the security, the 3 bids for the Like I said, the trooper barracks has to be painted. I guess that's part of our policy, I guess, this year, that it has to be done. Are you cold, man?
A little bit.
We have to paint the building before the end of the year. I guess this is something, an ongoing process to do this every year. Upgrades have to be made to the building. So, like I said, before we can do this, it's got to be repaired properly. So I did secure the bids. It's not a lot of money, but it's up for the town board for discussion if they want to address it. I did secure 3 bids from 3 people that I thought were reputable. They were pretty close on the amounts. One was a little bit high, but
Just a note on Mr. or J&R contraction. I don't think we get charged tax, do we?
no. Well, he put that in there because he's going to purchase the materials. So I don't know how we would go about it. We need to purchase sheetrock and plywood and to build the platforms up there. I noticed the other one is here, the same thing. If there was any, I mean, if we purchase the materials, we would be asking for something different. I don't know how much it would be in tax difference that we included in tax.
I don't think we pay tax.
I would imagine we wouldn't.
Yeah. If he wants to,
Minus the $76, Rob.
well, he's just gonna have to, I guess, resubmit his quote. It's not to include, so he can't, it can't be a line item like
The other
last
one
guy
said the
here.
same thing, taxes included, all taxes included, so that was figured in too.
Same thing. Well, when he shows it as a subtotal, there's no zero tax. In your opinion, Lou, I know the troopers want to get it done pretty quickly.
Yeah, they should, because there is mold in there. You know, I can eliminate the mold with some bleach and spray it, but they're concerned about the ceiling falling down on prisoners because it is the processing room. And I can see the point there. Want to have that happen, but this has been, the ceiling has been like this for 30 days, I would say, that this happened. Happened sometime in August, like this week or third again. But there has been leaks all through the building with these trays up there. Like I said, it's been an ongoing problem. And if we're gonna paint the building, it has to be repaired properly.
So, without looking at the pricing, just your personal view of the 3 vendors, because I know we don't have consideration, but it's not the ultimate consideration. Who would you pick as far as, you know?
Well, we've got 2 of them that are local and one is from Amsterdam. The one from, the other local is, was about $500 higher. So,
No.
I suppose if you're gonna go on price, you gotta go the lowest, I'm assuming. Unless there's unless anybody's got anything to say about it. I do know the one person that submitted the bid, well, I know a couple of them personally, but I just called them for them to submit a bid. The one person that submitted the bid is our cleaning lady's husband, so. And the other one is running from, he's got his office up here on Cumberland Road.
Councilman Drzezinski, what do you think?
Well, I think, you know, who knows 2 of them? I mean, I would consider heavily what your opinion would be. And getting the lowest bid doesn't necessarily give you the best shot. That's my opinion.
Councilman Edwards?
Everybody's insured and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, I don't know about the one that submitted the bid for 1,600,
For sure.
if he's insured or not. I know the other two are. They said they were, let's put it that way.
I don't have any experience with either of the J&R or the Dennison. So if you have some, I guess, understanding of who they are and what their reputation is, I just don't know them. I know Bob, I've, experienced Bob Hirschfinger's work, so I'm familiar with him and his company, but not the other two I don't really know anything about, so I would defer to your knowledge of, I guess, of them and their business and what they're capable of.
I agree.
Well, if you're gonna go with the lowest bid, I know that the lowest bidder will do an excellent job. I'm sure that, I can't pronounce his name,
For sure.
he would do an excellent job too. But, the other one, I don't know what his reputation is, other than I just started calling around, calls some local people, and, just,
He's not the lowest.
no, he's not. But he's pretty reputable too, he's done work for the town before, so that's why we asked him to submit a bid. He did tell me he was gonna be higher than everybody else when he said it, so.
And we should do a resolution. All right, so I guess Cal, I think it would be easier to put it on the last resolution. All right. So the resolution will be, we'll award this to Dennison Construction then. All right, so I'll read the resolution at the end to work it out. All right, Lou, you,
We've got the bids for the painting of the town hall, and this is extremely high. We've walked through there numerous times. Mike and I have both been through there looking at the rooms that have to be done. Furniture has to be moved. They have to arrange it with the state police so that there's someone there, and they have to do one room at a time. There's so many rooms in this building over here that have to be done, along with their locker facility. And it is a quite expensive job to do this.
I did walk through with Lou. Well, maybe from the outside, the building doesn't look big, but it's cut up pretty good, so there's a bunch of rooms in there. And then the popcorn ceiling, which is gonna make, I guess, a little more difficult for spraying. So it looks like you got two same and one new, what's the other one? Well, building out. This is 1, 2,
And J&R. Dennison and,
Ben Reed,
yes.
J.R., and Dennison.
This is to patch all of the ceilings. There's a hole in the wall where one of the prisoners decided to get a little rowdy. That has to be repaired. They have to remove some wallpaper and patch the wall. And some of the popcorn ceilings, I think one of them has to be removed. Another one can be repaired. It fell through all of the leakage that was in there. I must stress, though, that the thing that has to be done first is the patching of the trays upstairs and the patching of the processing room. There's one room they're not going to do. It's where they have to build wall, and I guess this is something that has to be done next year. That was agreed upon before. That they have to put in petitions and redo this one room, so that room is excluded from this, because that has to be done next year. And I do have the plans for that that the state police submitted, but that's after January, to be budgeted in for next year.
All right, so we got the three bids. Let's, I guess, start with the highest one, which is Dennison Construction.
Lowest is Van Weed painting.
And they are again.
Does anybody, I mean, does anyone have any experience with any of the work that these guys have done? Have you seen any of the jobs that they've done, or gotten any feedback from anybody that they've done before?
They both claim that, everybody claims that they've been in business for years, and these three are insured. But I know the one would do an excellent job, but his bid is way too high, in my opinion. Way out of the realm. The J&R contracting, he claims he does a lot of work in painting and remodeling and whatever, but I'm not too familiar with his work. And the other one is a painting contractor. That's all he does, is painting, so I'm assuming that he's pretty reputable in it. The thing with the painting, it has to be done, according to what I understand, like it has to be done by the end of the year. We do have a few months to think about it.
Well, I'd like to get this. I'd like to, get it done by, in my opinion, before the holiday season.
I never realized that all of this work had to be done this year. That this painting inside of the building, and next year we can start working on this other room that has to be done, so we can, I'll work on that in January, soliciting bids and have this done.
So if there's 15,000 allotted in State Police Barracks, 1,000 plus we assume we go to low bid here of 11,250, so for 12,250, that leaves us what, 3,600 somewhere. We need to fix that leak where the water's running into the garage. I think that just needs, maybe Dash or somebody to go look at by the rock wall or the
Yeah,
railroad.
they do have a problem in the garage. It's been like that for years. They get about 6 to 8 inches of water. Is that correct, George?
Yeah.
And that
Some of
one
it comes
area
back
they
up through the drain that's in the floor, and the others, the first 3 or 4 feet away from the garage there is pretty flat, so when rain comes or snow starts melting, it runs back in the garage, so we have to pump it out a few times a year. Empire, now we talked about putting just a little curve right there in front of the garage.
I'm taking a quick look at there, right by the corner of the railroad tie wall, and it looks like it's washed away, and it's washing straight into the corner there, and poured out into the driveway, so I think we, the landscaper adapts, maybe just put a load in there, and push it away from the wall.
I think what part of that is too, you see how out here in the parking lot, all the water runs underground. And that's I think what a lot of it does, just runs underground and comes out there around that wall. We had to repair that wall there, 2 years ago, we did that wall, we had to rebuild the whole block wall. Put all sub-drains into it now.
Is that drain plugged, George, do you know?
The dry well that's in that?
No, in the garage itself.
Yeah.
Well, if
If you run a rod down in there, it's all full. How big that dry well is, but that was put in there by Charlotte.
I'm wondering if they just threw some stone in there and put a drain in there, rather than putting a regular dry well in there.
well, I want to get back on track here a little bit. So I guess the example I was using, if we use low bid and Dennison, the other low bid, we'll still have 3,000 or so that we can hopefully apply to that repair. So,
Well, you should have between 15 and 20,000 total for the repairs. Between 15 and 20,000 we're supposed to spend each year.
That's what we're supposed to spend every year on the building?
That's what, for any kind of repairs, for major repairs.
Well, I want to leave 5,000 or so for miscellaneous.
Well, that's on another line on the budget anyway.
Yeah. And I guess some of the feedback Lou's gotten to build those cubicles is going to be pretty spendy next year, so.
Yeah, you can save whatever you have left over this year for next year.
Exactly. So back to painting.
And if you do spend more one year, you can cut it off the next year. You know, you spend 25,000 one year, you can knock it down to 10,000 next year or something like that.
If you look at that building, the outside of that building is gonna have to be done, something's gonna have to be done with that in the near future.
Now, that would be on the next contract, because the lease is gonna run out before you have to do the siding. You've got windows and doors to do after.
Maybe we get connect to unified communications movement. All right, back to the painting. So, obviously, Dennis Construction is pretty much out of the question, and there's only $200 difference or change. I would suggest, again, Lou, you interviewed these guys, so I mean, it's your,
Obviously, you go with the lowest bid, that's what the procurement policy says.
Councilman Drzinski.
Yes, I agree.
Councilman Edwards.
The scope of work is identical between Van Lee and JR here?
We're both gonna use premium paint, I think it was Benjamin Moore. And they were both gonna fix the patches, the holes in the walls. They were basically gonna do the same thing as,
I don't see on JR's, J&R, where he's gonna use a sealant stain inhibitor. He's gotta seal those water stains.